Hello, hello, are we live? This is a very dramatic selection of music for the intro. I swear it wasn't playing this. I guess the other track I picked was just that short. And we are reviewing a horror game today, but let's switch it up. Let's switch up the mood. Alright, it'll do. Anyways, welcome back everybody to a Speak Space reviewing one of my favorite games. It's been a while. It has been a little while since we did this, and I don't know about you, but the audio levels are a bit too loud for me. Hopefully that is all good. Maybe still a bit too loud, to be honest. I felt the music should be much quieter than usual for something like this, so what if I do this? Is this good? Tell me if there's any problems with the audio. I think I might be too loud. Tell me if there's any problems with the audio, guys. That should be good. Stop changing it. That should be a-okay. Cube Group, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. That's not true. You're not always the only person here. Sometimes you are, maybe, but not that often. I mean, it's just kind of luck of the draw, really. I don't know who's watching this. But anyway, here's today's charity shout-out and question of the day. I'll talk more about those soon. The drill is simple. It's the same as always, okay? One of these days, I'm going to do a negative review. But since pretty much everything has already been said about this game in video essays, instead of making my own, I'm going to talk about why this game is phenomenal in this review. Amnesia the Bunker has good gameplay, story, etc. But there's so much more to this game that makes it stand out from the rest. And another thing is that, like, I could not make a video essay on this if I tried right now because I just don't have the time. But I've been wanting to do this for a while. I think it's time I did a game review. It's been a long time. If you haven't seen it, if you go to my, not the studio, if you go to my channel page, you scroll down to the Speak Space category, right here, game reviews. I've done a few of these at this point. And yeah, it's time we added Amnesia the Bunker to this list because although it's yet another positive review, I never do negative reviews, which is kind of strange if you think about it. It's like the whole point of this is to do criticism and feedback, but also if I don't like a game, I'm not going to care about it enough to warrant a review. So it's like there's kind of a very positive bias, and I don't know what to do about that. But Amnesia the Bunker is particularly special and particularly unique, and I just want to talk about it because in my honest opinion this is the most phenomenal proper traditional horror game I've ever known of, let alone played. Like, in the same way that Celeste to me was basically the perfect 2D precision platformer, in that it was kind of a very average of its genre, but within its genre, just absolutely peak. I think Amnesia the Bunker is similar. Maybe not the same, but I think it's similar. And I think it's about time I did a review, since I have played this quite extensively now. So obviously, yes, I recommend the game. Obviously, yes, I allow comments. And yeah, we're just going to write it in here, same as usual, and talk about it. So, how do I begin? Where do we even start with this, you know? It's funny because I don't even play the other Amnesia games. You know what, I think I'm going to mention this in the review. So, I like to preface this by saying that I'm actually quite unfamiliar with the rest of the Amnesia series. And that, well, let me think about this. Because it's been a while. I had a plan for this stream. Basically, we'll pick that up later. The Bunker goes above and beyond being a good indie horror game. Alright? Because the reason I think this deserves a stream, the reason I think it deserves a good review, is because it's got something special about it. I mean, it's kind of complicated, so let's break it down. Okay. Good horror game. It's a phenomenal contribution to the horror genre, the video game genre, and everything in between, even if it is very typical for its genre. I'm gonna say, yeah, you know what, I'll even say this too. Similarly Similarly to Celeste, in the 2D precision platformer genre, this game knows exactly what it is without too much ambition and executes it to near perfection. I think that's basically what I'm trying to say. I think that's probably the most, not the most, but that's probably the most general way I can kind of sum up what I'm saying, because to my understanding, it's like, you know, a lot of games that I play are indie, they're experimental, they try and get really creative. And I'm not saying this game doesn't, this game has its own creativity, but it's like, you know, in my own time, you know, on YouTube, as a gamer, the standard for horror has already had this dramatic shift to mascot horror. And there's this whole thing that goes all the way back to Slender Man and Five Nights at Freddy's. So, a kind of traditional horror game where you're sort of running around the dark with a monster like this is very easy to overlook, because it's been done a million times before, and, you know, there's been a lot of good ones from way back in, like, the late 2000s and the early 2010s. If you think, you know, Silent Hill, the older Amnesia games, the original Amnesia, like, there's, you know, SCP Containment Breach, like, that was a whole generation that was so long ago. And yet, this game releases in 2023, and it manages, in my eyes at least, to just stand out. Hello, chat, Super Soul, and Aero. Welcome. The bunker is French. Ew, no, yeah, you're absolutely right. Ew, French, negative 10 out of 10. Disgusting. Get out of my Steam library. No. Yeah, no. The French are foul creatures, hellish vermin that belong in the abyss with British people. Anyway, all right. I'll pick that train up later. But yeah, I might just start the review with this. The bunker goes above and beyond being a good indie horror game. It's a phenomenal content. Is it indie? I think it is. You know what? Let's change that. Because I'm not sure if it's indie, actually. Let's say survival. It doesn't reek of typical AAA behavior, is all I'm saying. Yeah. The story, is intertwined, no, that's wrong one. It's entwined into the gameplay without becoming distracting or, boring. The vast majority of the lore is optional and scattered throughout the game, rewarding players invested in the narrative, but not wasting too much time away from gameplay. In addition to establishing, establishing the main characters and their relationship in a well-structured, playable tutorial sequence. Gameplay for those less interested. It does the same old trope of findable notes recordings that BioShock or Bendy and the Ink Machine. And I'm going to be doing a lot of comparisons for this to prove my point. It does the same old trope findable notes recordings that games such as BioShock or Bendy and the Ink Machine have done time and time again, but with the gritty setting of World War I and minimal ludonarrative dissonance. Oh, put my monocle on, make me look smart. It's not that complex. It's not that complex, but for those of you who don't know, ludonarrative dissonance is this idea of the story of a game clashing with the gameplay of a game. The thing is about video games, and what makes them such a unique genre from films, books, you know, all the rest of it, is that it's very difficult to mesh a good story with a good gameplay. Usually one comes at the cost of another, because the nature of a video game is to be played. It's for players to have their own agency, to make their own decisions, but it's very hard to make a story that fits that without making compromises. You know, simple example, Red Dead Redemption 2, okay? You're playing as Arthur Morgan, and, you know, in the story, you know, the gang has to lie low. Say you're in, I don't know, chapter 6, you know, you're coming towards the end of the game, Arthur is on his path to redemption, and, you know, the stakes are higher than they've ever been. You can still go and, like, massacre whole villages, get unrealistic amounts of money that are, like, more than, like, Dutch has for the whole Tahiti plan. Like, you can do stuff that doesn't quite match the story. Even the stranger missions seem a little bit odd compared to the main story if you do them at certain points in the game. There's even one tiny continuity error, because there's a newspaper in the main game that details Arthur's first bank robbery being in, like, oh, what's it called? The place beginning with J. The US state beginning with J. What is it? It's not Jericho. Why am I thinking Jericho? I can't remember. But then there's a side mission where he says he's never been there. Where he's never been in a big city, and it's like, it's a tiniest detail. It took people years to find, but it's like, it's kind of, I mean, I guess that's due to multiple writers, but also, you know, if you just think, like, if a player in a game is able to do something that the character in the game has been depicted as kind of incapable of doing, it kind of breaks the immersion, and it compromises the story for gameplay. Or worse, you compromise gameplay for story, and you artificially limit players' actions just so that, you know, they can't do things that are right. Do you see what I'm getting at? It's a very character-based thing. And it's a very difficult thing for game designers to navigate, usually. But in Amnesia the Bunker, they make it work. And I'm going to detail that more as well as I can here. Again, I'm just kind of summarizing. It's a bit sweeping edge. I'm expecting comments and criticism to this that I can reply to, which is what you guys are here for, please. Because I genuinely, like, there is nothing that really bothers me about Amnesia the Bunker. I'm sure it's not perfect, but there's nothing that I would consider enough to really put it down from a 10 out of 10. Which is why I'm asking you guys, what is, like, the worst thing about it? Because there's got to be something. There's always something. And I'm just curious. But before we push that, I'm gonna, you know, indulge myself here. Sorry. Yeah. Minimal ludonarrative dissonance. Aside from obviously unrealistic things contingent on difficulty, such as the healing system, the game is largely accurate to history. Not to brag, but I'm a historian, can confirm. And embellishes only with its paranormal horror aspects. Okay. Yeah. As for the gameplay, before I launch into this, I'm actually just gonna properly read chat, because I do want to see what you guys are saying. I am both of French and Jewish descent, so I got a double debuff. Ain't no way he said that. Ain't no way. The lore. You guys joke, but this game has some pretty cool lore. Because what it does is that it actually writes characters in a realistic way. I won't go on about it because I'm not so deep in this game's lore yet that I can remember who's who. But it's like seeing the nuances between characters like Jubert, the, you know, only officer to kind of show any respect for the, you know, working class privates, or, you know, Reynard, who was the first person to get absolutely obliterated by the creature, or of course the main characters, Lambert and Clement, who you play as, and their kind of, you know, brotherly camaraderie. I kind of ship it, to be honest, which makes the story even more tragic, but yeah, I mean, yes, they're French, but damn, I mean, the emotion is there if you're looking for it, and if you're not, I mean, the intro sequence is so brief, it's like, no problem. But yeah, as for the gameplay, not only does it dodge, being too linear or, too repetitive with, a variety of objectives, tools, obstacles, and randomization to keep every run of the game fresh and unique. The AI, and I say that in quotes because AI, the connotations of AI are changing this year. The AI of the monster is generally... No, the AI of the monster... Whoa. I accidentally pasted everything. Is... not so... I guess... How many times have I said not only? Because me saying not only is like using dashes. I do it way too much. It's a bad habit. Yeah, okay, no, I've only said it once. We're good. Challenging and unpredictable, especially on higher difficulties. Sure, once you've gotten familiar with the game, you can tend to predict it with some consistency, but usually, I don't know. The monster is... I'm not saying this right. Basically, it actually like responds to what you do in a fairly clever way. It's better than most games. You can still cheese it a bit because no AI is that good. But yeah. Personally, although I have been able to predict its movements a few times and have noticed one or two scripted visits. What do they call it? They call it the Beast, but it's also being referred to in the game files or the extras or something, I believe, as it's not the Lurker, it's the... What is it called? The Stalker. Is that what it's called? I don't even remember its name. I'll just call it the Beast, because that's what it's called in game. It's never given a proper name. Generally demonstrates a level of intelligence and highly sensitive responses to your every movement, requiring strategy and skill to overcome. I think I made my point. I might rephrase it. La creatura. Maybe I should, DJ. You know what? Let's do it. I'm just gonna copy this so I don't lose it. My mouse sensitivity's being a bit whack. I don't usually play the games in these streams, especially since we're on a bit of a time limit, because I'm doing another stream back to back with this. We're playing a new game today. But before we do that, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. There we go. There's no, get off my screen. No, not you, not now. Bugshot Roulette we could do with a review, actually. That would be a good one to do for another one of these. I'm gonna wait though, because I have a feeling it's gonna get updated soonish. Yes! Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna wait for this. I haven't 100% this game yet, but I'm going to. I definitely want to, I just haven't got around to it. Because there's a bunch. I don't know if anyone would even care about me streaming this, but there's definitely... Oh man, I'm so curious what these are. Man, what is... Hang on, how can this not be the bottom one? There's an achievement that less people have than the one for collecting all the other achievements. What does that mean? Again, this is mostly like completion stuff, but maybe there's more to it. Let me just put this up. But yeah, DJ, welcome to the stream. Thanks for all joining. I've got some leftover Domino's pizza here. Not sponsored, just getting a bit of hassle. Anyway, while I'm waiting for that to load, I'm just going to go back to the store page. I don't want this review to get too long, so I'm probably going to cut it down a bit, but... Yeah. I've never heard of that Super Soul, but that doesn't surprise me. I'm sure it's, you know, there is some trick to getting it. No, it's not gonna say in game. It's not gonna say in game. I think it is the Stalker, but I'd have to find a YouTube video. I'm not gonna worry about it now. No, this is bothering me. Amnesia, the bunker, monster name. You were the real monster the whole time. Spoilers, by the way. There might be spoilers here. I don't know what the hell this is. There's only one ending. I have never seen that. This is a funny video. You guys should watch this. Yeah, people literally just call it the monster. I have no idea what that is. And I'm finding some very disturbing stuff down here. So I'm just going to close that. This is a funny video. There's this one spot where Germans will shoot at you. Check this out. Ooh, been looking forward to this. Oh yeah. Bro got ricocheted. Oopsie. Yeah. Anyway. Alright. Getting off course here. Yeah, that's actually crazy. So, this game is more than the sum of its parts, however. Given the premise and the well, not dreadful, dread-inducing atmosphere through, well, hold on. You know what? Forget this. We don't care about that. The bunker goes above and beyond being good to our horror games. It's a phenomenal contribution to the horror genre and the video game genre and everything in between, even if it is very typical for its genres. Similar to Celeste in the 2D position platform genre, this game knows exactly what it is without too much ambition and executes it to near perfection. I think that's the top tagline. And then we have like you know, read on. Given all of this as well as its production values, the dingy lighting and dusty particles, the dread-inducing ambience, and I'm exaggerating a little bit here, but the stomach churning monster sounds. It stays scary in a way that and induces I'm trying not to use the word vibe. Could you piss off? Bloody insects. They want my food. Ricochet. What's a plus ricochet? I don't know what that is. And keeps the player engaged at all times. The bunker is scary in many ways, some quite subtle and some quite subtle. The threat of the I'm gonna list these off because this is another interesting part of the game which I don't see people talk about enough. It's the fact that the actual horror, what actually makes this game scary, works on multiple levels. And therefore it appeals to a much broader audience than it would otherwise. The bunker is scary in many ways, some quite subtle. Threat, the obvious threat of the monster, and the usual tension and panic of jump scares and chase sequences is of course present. There's also the eeriness of being alone in the dark, finding hardly any other living being. Well, I don't want to spoil too much here, but in the dark, not knowing if you're alone. And if you're not alone, finding no form of hope or help whatsoever. The gory bodies littering bunker are creepy, and there's the overhanging and sometimes forgotten what'd you call it? I'll call it a tragedy. That your literal light at the end of the tunnel, your one hope of escape, leads to one of the bloodiest and saddest conflicts in human history. The biggest war ever in the game universe. Your situation is so dire that you dream of making it back into the hellscape of World War I. Like, what other game can create a scenario so terrible that your paradise is literally the trenches? Because they literally have like the orange light fading through the tunnel at, you know, near your home place. And in the video I showed you, the bit the Germans are shooting at, like literally nowhere is safe. And it's like the game reminds you at these specific points. It's incredible. Only threats or death. The gory about the I don't want to repeat myself too much. going to say fear-inducing, so I can use dread over here, because it's more accurate. And then there's the dread of your situation. In this game, hold on. I'm gonna save the game world. Here is just... yeah, there we go. Okay. There's not a lot else that I can say without any major spoilers, but this game is a remarkable testament to the ability of, what are they called? Frictional games. No, even better. Reticent to frictional games mastery of survival horror game design. I feel like this entry has truly earned a 10 out of 10. Or has it? Let's read this back now, alright? We're done. We're done, okay? We're done. See, I've been singing this game's praises, and I love doing that, but all of these reviews, I do worry maybe they're getting a bit too positive, although maybe I'm just picking banger games. Oh, it's an Ultra Kill reference! Man, I have not played enough Ultra Kill. Oh, I don't remember that. Cool. Nice. Imagine he escapes and just dies a bit after, if that's actually how it goes. Damn, that's sad. I've heard there's multiple endings, but I've only seen one. I would hate to spoil this game for someone. The ending that I've seen is pretty fitting. I mean, I don't know, I haven't really seen many opinions on it. I guess you could interpret it a couple ways, but I don't know. I need to see what all the endings are. I just don't know about that. Alright, so here's the thing. The Bunker goes above and beyond being a good survival horror game. It's a phenomenal contribution to the horror genre, the video game genre, and everything in between, even as it is very typical for its genres. Similarly to Celeste in the 2D precision platformer genre, this game is exactly what it is, without too much ambition, and executes it to near perfection. The story is... okay, so... firstly, its story is entwined into the gameplay without becoming distracting or boring. In addition to establishing the main character and their relationship the main characters and their relationship in a well-structured playable tutorial sequence, the vast majority of the lore is optional and scattered throughout the game, rewarding players invested in the narrative, but not wasting too much time away from gameplay for those less interested. It does the same old trope of fightable notes from recordings at games such as Bioshock or Benny Lynch time and time again, but with the gritty setting of World War I and minimal ludo-narrative dissonance. Aside from obviously unrealistic things contingent on difficulty, such as the healing system, the game is largely accurate to history and embellishes only with its paranormal horror aspects. But why is that good? Although I could perhaps nitpick. I'm trying to think. Because I actually think that. What did this game do wrong? Is there anything I didn't like? I mean, I never really had a problem with the map. Like, I guess you could get lost on a first playthrough, but no. The fact that the notes you can find throughout the game actually connect to environmental your environment, as you can find the characters, find the soldiers who hold on. Further than those you can find throughout the game actually connect to your environment, as you can find the very same soldiers mentioned in and authored by who authored those notes. Dead and decaying throughout the bunker. Makes for a chillingly grounded atmosphere. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but I think it's a really neat detail because the bodies are actually randomized, as are the lockers, but they actually do correlate to the notes in some ways, in more of a general way. But it's like, you know, one of them describes how one guy is killed by the monster, and you can find that same guy like in a certain zone. It's crazy. Get out of here. Azu, hello. That supports both story and general immersion in the setting. As for the gameplay, not only does it dodge being too linear or too repetitive with a variety of objectives, tools, obstacles, and randomization to keep every run of the game fresh and unique, the AI of the monster is challenging and unpredictable, especially on higher difficulties. Personally, although I have been able to predict its movements a few times and have noticed one or two scripted visits, the beast generally demonstrates a level of intelligence and highly sensitive responses to your every movement, rarely seen in other games, and a highly sensitive responses to your every movement, requiring strategy and skill to overcome. This game is more than the sum of its parts, however. Given all of this, as well as its strong production values, the dingy lighting and dusty particles, the fear-inducing ambience and stomach-churning monster sounds, it stays scary and keeps the player engaged at all times. Go away. The bunker is scary in many ways, some quite subtle. They illustrate the monster, the usual tension, panic, jump scares, and chase sequences is, of course, present. There's also the eeriness of being alone in the dark, not knowing if you're alone, and if you're not alone, finding only threats or death. The horror of finding threats or death remains. The gory bodies seem to creepy, and then there's a dread of your situation. In this game, your literal light at the end of the tunnel, your one hope of escape, is into one of the bloodiest and saddest conflicts in human history, the biggest war ever in the game world. Here, your situation is so dire that you dream of making it back into the hellscape of World War I. There's not a lot else I can say that I made choice, but the game is a remarkable testament to frictional games' mastery of survival horror game design. But what can I criticize? What would I change? If I can change anything about Amnesia, what would I change? The save system is great. The difficulty is great. None of the items feel overpowered, none of the items feel useless. The balancing's fine. I feel like they made bullets way rarer than they realistically would be for gameplay reasons. I can't really argue with that, but... Bullets available in the bunker. Or things contingent on difficulties such as the healing system. I gotta say, yeah, the lack of bullets is really weird. I feel like they could have done that differently. They could have just made bullets weaker to the monster on all difficulties, so you have to shoot it a couple times on any difficulty except the easiest. I think that's an easy fix. Bullets should be way more common, honestly. It's a bit silly. What else? What else? Might seem a little strange, but it hits the right tone. I'm not explaining well. Is Let me think about this. Story is realistic, the gameplay is engaging and balanced, tone and atmosphere consistent, and even things like the UI and save system are fantastic, especially with the updates that came after this game's release. Because this game literally had a whole update for accessibility that's really good. Like, it was already good, but now it's really good. It has pretty much everything except the colorblind mode at this point. That I can think of, at least. But even things like the UI and save system are fantastic, especially with the updates that came after this game's release. I'm trying to think of something I genuinely this game can improve on. All I've got is, like, not enough bullets, which even then is kind of questionable. I mean, got the training ground now. Maybe some of that accessibility stuff should have been there on release, but it doesn't matter now because it's there now. Ah, boy. Man, I can't think of anything. The soundtrack is, I guess, could be better. That's a real nitpick. Maybe I could nitpick something like the soundtrack not being as memorable as it could be. I mean, it's got like one or two decent tracks, but it's nothing compared to, you know, I don't know. I need to do more comparisons, don't I? What is this? Why is it playing the Doctor Who soundtrack? Did I put this on, like, shuffle? Why is this here? That should be in here. Okay, I don't know why this is here. Let me remove that. That's not supposed to be here. Ah, man. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted for that. It's like 2 seconds. Oh, hold on. Or, I don't know, or... I keep trying to think of things that are, like, bad about the game, and I just keep finding more good things. I need to do a whole paragraph on this, because I forgot about this. A unique aspect of this game is that it stands the test of time, not just for doing the same old traditional horror stuff without flaw. In this age of mascot horror games, it manages to be the anti-mascot horror game, actively using, let me phrase this right, but for going against the modern grain intentionally. Yeah, here we go. Using the actively obscuring its monster design and hiding the face of your foe throughout the game to make things scarier, as opposed to the total focus on enemy design present in I don't know how true this is, because obviously mascot horror isn't the entire horror genre, but come on guys, it's the 2020s. More honestly, I don't even know what's going on in AAA horror. Like, is AAA horror like a thing? Like AAA horror games? Is that even a thing? This might be my own kind of lack of knowledge, but it's like, there was The Prey in 2017. I think Dead Space got remakes. I can't think of anything else. Because when I think AAA games, none of them are really horror games. Sometimes they've got scary aspects, but they're always like adventure, sci-fi, fantasy stuff. You got Elden Ring, you got your Jedi games, you got the Spider-Man games, you got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 remake. I don't know. Present in more currently popular horror games. I hate to do this, but it has to be said, e.g. FNF Security Breach, Bendy and the Dark Revival. I'm not putting Hello Neighbor 2. Choo Choo Charles. And or oh fuck, do I have to put Bobby Playtime? No, I have to. It's Choo Choo Charles was only probably free. I'm not gonna lump them in with these guys. I'm not gonna be that guy. I'll specify chapter 3 though, because that kind of had a shockwave lately, and even though I still haven't seen or played it, I don't intend to. It is definitely a... No, I'm not putting fucking Bandman. Alien Isolation. Yes. You know what? No. We gotta respect the OGs and give them a mention here. You're absolutely right about that. Where's the gameplay? Because I'm not too familiar with those ones. I haven't played them. I know Silent Hill's more of a linear story game, but Alien Isolation has a similar kind of randomness, doesn't it? It's similar, but better than the likes of Alien Isolation or The Prey. Is The Prey a pretty good example? I don't know. Well, you know what? I don't know enough. I'm actually not... I shouldn't shoehorn it in. The thing I've heard about Alien Isolation is that the AI is decent, but it gets less scary as you go, because the game sort of turns into an action game instead of a horror game by the end. This game doesn't do that, even though you get better stuff towards the end of the game to fight back. I don't know. I've mentioned Bendy twice. Is that really the best I could do? Nah. Just because that's collectibles. There we go. Keep it a bit more up to date. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. moon. But yeah, it has a skill tree basically and gets smashed as you play. That is amazing. I should at least just watch some Alien Isolation. It's just one of those games I never got into. Although, weirdly enough, I got into Outlast at the age of 13. I don't know how I handled that. I'm too scared to go back to that game. Outlast goes crazy. Is there an Outlast comparison I can make here? I mean, maybe with the environments? I guess? I'm not gonna go overboard with the comparisons. I think I've slotted them in where they're appropriate. Relative, shortness of this game, but quality over quantity is what the bunker provides, assuming we ignore all its replayability appeal. I think we're done here, guys. I think this is everything I've got to say. I think this is it. But yeah. I mean, there's been so many Silent Hill remakes, to be fair, but they've been questionable in terms of, like, quality. But yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to judge Alien Isolation too specifically. I don't have the authority to do that, because I haven't even played it. I haven't even watched a playthrough. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm talking about the games that I know. I never finished Bioshock, I really should, but, yeah. Anyway. Alright. The Bunker goes above and beyond being a good survival horror game. It's a phenomenal contribution to the horror genre, the video game genre, and everything in between. Even is very typical for its genre. It's less, blah, blah, blah. Formatting help. Remind me. Here we go. You know what? I'll actually do this as a header. We'll do H2. But it's the / Gotcha. This is a bit of a block. I might do some bold or underlined text. Yeah. Unlike bending the machine, which makes you sit and listen to Alice Angel for over a full minute and just completely freezes the gameplay. Oh boy. Boring. It was cool like once. Didn't even give us a skip button. I'm just gonna highlight some stuff here because this is a chunky text. Don't want to absolutely bore my readers. Yeah, I'm just going to do a few bits in bold. I'm not going to read it all out loud again. I'm just proofreading it here. But yeah. This I am highlighting. There we go. Very exciting. It's interesting you can structure this. I don't think I'm going to go too crazy on the formatting. But yeah. Should that just be one paragraph? Nah. You know what? I'm going to do this bit in italics. Just to mix it up. do this a bit bold. Gotta be a bit dramatic, eh? Huh. Again, we'll do italics here. And it is worth both your money and your time if you enjoy any games like this. Yeah, maybe we could underline this. There we go. I mean, I can edit it, but I think that'll look alright. Because here's the thing, like, maybe you could say, well, the game's not ambitious enough, it doesn't do anything new. Does it have to? Is that necessarily a bad thing, that it doesn't have something completely unique that has never been done before? Because, as far as I'm concerned, I'm kind of on board with the old adage that, like, there are only, like, 7, 8, 9 stories. Like, everything has been done before, everything has been thought of. It's how you do it that's different. And I think this game does it very well. Like, I'm over the hype, but, like, I still want to play this. Alright. Let's do this. Review has been posted. Let's have a look at it. I might tweak the formatting a bit. Whoa. Interesting how that looks. Man, no one's gonna fucking read this. But you know what? That's fine. How many words is this? This can't be more than, like, 300 or 400 words. Maybe 500? 750! How is that 750 words? That's nothing. That's 750 words. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, let me tweak the formatting. It could definitely be a bit more consistent. I'm just gonna add a few of these. Like so. That'll probably do. There's like a bit of bold in every paragraph now, so hopefully that makes it a bit more readable. Yeah, this isn't the most readable thing, but that's fine. I don't expect people to be reading these a lot, but I gotta say, my Steam profile is something I'm genuinely proud of. Like, I'm not ever getting rid of this. Look at these reviews. Look at this good shit. Like, damn. I mean, some of these are probably not that great, but, oh, we've come a long way. Man, why didn't I format it like the Choo Choo Charles review? This looks so much better. I don't know. This is more of like a incisive analysis of the game rather than an overall review. Like, I try to hone in on specific things, but I couldn't do this whole game justice in 750 words. Maybe I should put that in the review. Maybe I should put that in. I can't wholly do this game justice in one brief review. So here's the highlights. Here's the most important bits. People who look at this and think, what a fucking nerd. He thinks this is just the concise version. Well, think about being a student. You learn that 1,000 words is nothing. I can bang out a couple thousand words in a day if I put my mind to it. But yeah. Anyway, Cube Group, what the fuck are you doing? Bro just copy-pasted a Wikipedia article. Oh, man. Well, I didn't even see it, so... Yeah, it's literally always when I get up. DJ, literally me on the Discord server right now. Last few days, there's been spammers, like, attacking the server, like, within minutes of me missing it. Thank goodness we have my staff, like True Player, available to deal with that, because, man, I was literally on my computer tabbed out. Like, I should have seen it. Maybe I should go off Do Not Disturb for a bit. But anyways, I think I've waffled on long enough, guys. I'm going to wrap things up. This has been my review of Amnesia: The Bunker. I think, like, this is just a game that, I don't know, it's just really fucking good. It's just a downright solid game. It doesn't faff around with, you know, even though it's part of a series, it doesn't faff around with lore. It doesn't, you know, have that one thing that everybody's like, oh, I gotta play through this again. Like, it just doesn't have any major mistakes. Like, yeah, I know, right, dude? I know, right? Like, even in a game like Resident Evil 4, there's probably that one section that people don't like to play over again. You know, even in... Like, what's an S-tier game I've ranked? Even in the Stanley Parable, I don't know. No, that game's awesome. Even in Choo Choo Charles, it's like, well... I mean, I didn't get that. That was 8.5 out of 10. That was a generous review. Even in Celeste, no, this is a good example. Even in Celeste, you've got that one part of the game that nobody likes, and it's called Chapter 3. But the Bunker doesn't have that. The Bunker is consistent. Maybe 100%ing it is a bit of a bitch. I wouldn't know that yet. But it's like... And the harder difficulties are kind of unfair, but that's kind of the point. Like, they're insane difficulties. Like, there's so much to do before you get up to that. It's just, I don't know, Amnesia: The Bunker is just kind of timeless, I guess. Like, it just completely stands on its own as this brilliant little horror game that is basically, it basically has everything I could possibly want in a horror game. Kind of like Baldi's Basics Plus. Classic Remaster is good, but kind of like Plus. I think when Plus is finally done, it's going to be on the level of The Bunker in its own way. Kind of like, you know, here's the straight horror game, here's the parody horror game, and it's like these two are very similar in the way they play and the way they are kind of structured. And I think they both kind of tickle, you know, what I really want out of my favorite kinds of horror games. They both have that degree of randomization that's really nicely balanced. They're both pretty creative with, you know, how they I mean, again, Plus is more, well, it's a mascot horror parody, it's got more creative kind of characters, it's got more chaos. Whereas The Bunker has a lot more of the story and the atmosphere. But in terms of gameplay, they both kind of share this highly replayable, almost addictive kind of like, you know, survival horror loop. And it's just, oh, it's just fantastic. No other game than these two has really done that for me. I cannot think of one. If there was, it would be on this list. Oh, I mean, maybe this one in a different way, but that's a whole different story. Maybe I should do a Lethal Company review at some point. Why haven't I done Lethal Company yet? Okay, that's bad. I've crumpled up my can of Rubicon and now it's spilling everywhere. Bro went, sorry, I'll stop, and 2 seconds later did it again. Bloodwin. Why are you always lying? Lesson 1, guys, don't trust anybody on the internet. Like, actually, you cannot. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for today. If you guys have got any particular games you want to see me review in future, you know, let me know. It should definitely be one that I've played on the channel. I'm not going to do a review of this, that'd be a waste of time. And I certainly don't need to review this, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good ones. But yeah, I'm going live again with Turnip Boy in just a few minutes, so if you want, I'll see you there. If not, I will see you soon. I'm going to be making a little community tab post about this so nobody misses it, but I'm going to be going on a bit of a hiatus for the next few weeks. I've got a really busy series of deadlines with like the end of my university degree coming up. It's very important that I dedicate all the time I can to these, so I've already been kind of winding down things like my live stream commitment, but I think I might straight up just do no streams for like a period. There'll be a couple more in the next week, but like there's gonna be none in kind of like late April, early May, and I'll probably be back to regular stuff in June, late May, mid-May. We'll see. But I'll make a community post letting you'll know. But yeah, that's it. Maybe next time I'll finally pick a game I don't like and do a negative review. Maybe, if I can think of one. But, like, oh, man. I think the thing I like least about Amnesia the Bunker is that there's only so much of it, and one day I'm going to 100% this game, I'm going to run out of things to do. And that's going to be really sad, that it's finite. But you know what? It is what it is. There's custom difficulty, so it's near infinite gameplay, to be fair. Like, there's so much you could do. I will probably still be playing this in, like, 5 years' time. Maybe, if we're lucky, I'll get a DLC or an update or even a sequel or something. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Check out the links in the description. Today's charity shout-out goes to Children in Need. I'll talk about them more in the next stream. These guys are obviously UK-based. It's the BBC. They do, like, charity event stuff. You should definitely check it out. Yeah. I mean, you can find out on the webpage. But yeah. And yeah, I don't think anybody gave the QOTD a go, so unless someone wants to give it a last-minute attempt, that's it. We're done. We're finished. I will wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you on the flip side. Not sponsored, by the way, but I've recently been getting into energy drinks. I'll probably talk about this more in the next stream. I've come to this up now, but man, Rubicon is the shit. Like, it's actually like 20% fruit juice, so it's really nice. It's not like Red Bull and Monster, it's all just sugary grossness. Oh yeah! Now, Super Soul, you've won another shout-out. I don't even care. That's funny. Super Soul wins a shout-out for saying "ooh French," even though I don't think it was marked as a QOTD. Who gives a shit? That's funny. Too easy. So, I'm Super Soul's bitch. Alright, let's be real here. Like, bro, I will give bro the shout-out for anything. If you give it to you, you'll stay in my walls, Pookie. I should put this in the review somewhere. I don't know, it's too late now. Anyway, yeah. See you soon, or not. I'll be streaming again, maybe Thursday? Yes, I will. Stay hydrated. Plug your game-making account. Not here, not now, but yes. Stay hydrated.